Hey everybody! Today on the show I have a game designer by the name of Pam Walls. She's developed 5 different games with multiple different publishers. She also has a YouTube channel that will help you understand game design and get your game potentially published. Also, at the end of the interview, I will give you an opportunity to win one of her games. So stick around. That interview starts now. Hey Pam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Very good. I am very grateful you came on and wanted to talk with me. I reached out to you because you are a game designer in your own right, but you have a YouTube channel where you give aspiring game designers or those who are curious about it some tips, tricks, some behind-the-scenes stuff that you do when you're looking to develop games. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
You have several games that you've developed already, and out of that process, out of the titles that you have out there, is there a favorite game that you've developed?
Yeah, I've designed probably like over 100 games, but I have 5 published games. And of my published games, it's so hard to choose among your babies, but I think I would probably say Blob Party. It's a cooperative party game, and it won the Dice Tower Award for best party game, and that was one of the highlights of my life. Going up on the stage and accepting that award, I think I peaked. So that was very, very cool. But also for this game, I've received so many photos from people and videos from people playing the game and just having so much fun. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to accomplish here. So that makes it stand out from all my games as probably my favorite.
Yeah, it's always awesome when a game was well received. And I'm close with several different designers who have great games and people love them. And there's such a smile on their face when someone comes up and tells them they enjoyed what you created. So as far as Blob Party, what is your favorite aspect of that game?
Yeah, I love how it's a cooperative party game. And I love the game Just One, the cooperative party game Just One. And I set out to try to make possibly an even better version of Just One. That was kind of my goal. No, there's room for all of us, but that was kind of my design goal. And so I just love how it is cooperative, but the twist of the game is that if you match an answer with someone else, now you've teamed up, you've blobbed together, and now you'll be working as a team moving forward, giving an answer as a team. So it really kind of heightens up the whole cooperative aspect. You're working with different people every game. You're matching with different people every game. You're trying to get people to join your team. And so I love that, how really like purely cooperative it is.
Yeah, I love party games myself, and it's hard to find good ones. In my book, I mean, there are some mainstays out there that I'm not necessarily fond of, but to find a good party game that has replayability and is fun every time you play, that is a key. Now you also have a game out called Chronicles of Light, which you've teamed up with Ravensburger to publish, correct?
Yes.
So when you're looking as a game, being a game designer, how do you find those publishers? I mean, how do you team up with somebody to get something produced?
Yeah, each of my games has been a different story for how it got picked up by a different publisher. Chronicles of Light was a very unique situation where I approached Ravensburger at the New York Toy Fair in 2020. I just went up to their booth and I just said, is anyone available to hear a pitch? Thankfully, Steve Warner, who went on to do Lorcana, was nice enough to give me some time to meet with me. The game I showed him ultimately was a no, but I got his contact information. We stayed in touch. I asked to be added to their designer distribution list because a lot of publishers will send out wish lists to designers. These are the types of games we're looking for, or here are some pitch opportunities, things like that. Thankfully, he added me to that. So I started to get emails from the Ravensburger team about the different types of games that they were looking for. And I started to get to know more people at Ravensburger, like Shannon Lyon. And so I pitched some games to her. And so we got to know each other. And so Ravensburger had the idea with Disney to make a cooperative Disney game. And so they sent out emails to designers that they had already worked with or already knew. So thankfully, I'd already established that relationship with Shannon and with the Ravensburger team. So Shannon emailed me saying, do you want to send in a concept? We're looking for a cooperative Disney game. and it has to have these certain parameters. And so that was really very, very cool. And so I started getting to work right away, brainstorming all sorts of ideas, play testing some ideas, and then I just sent in my concept, and then they decided to pick mine. So I don't know how many concepts they got from different designers, but they chose mine to move forward with.
So now I've heard this term in the industry, basically the pitch, right? So and there's basically it's, for lack of a better word, because I forgot the term, like a pitch sheet. Like a one
sell sheet
that you can bring, a sell sheet. Yes.
Right.
What is that, and how does that help you communicate with a publisher or potential publisher?
Yeah. So sell sheets, man, being a game designer, you have to have so many different skill sets. And so being a marketer to make sell sheets is also very important. So yeah, it's a one pager that summarizes all the most important parts of your game. And so that's what I gave Steve Warner when I went up to the Ravensburger booth when I was showing that game. And it's just a takeaway that a publisher can take with them that summarizes the components, the player count, the age range, the duration of the game, your contact information, and then a very quick overview of the gameplay. So it's basically kind of like the back of a game box. And it's just a quick takeaway that a publisher can hold on to so they can easily reference back. And if they're interested, they can easily connect with you. And one key thing to make sure you include on that, yeah, your contact information, but your phone number. I had a publisher contact me, and they're like, I couldn't find your phone number, and I almost just gave up. And so eventually I found your email. Like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but he said it's very important to include your phone number. So yeah, just make sure you include your contact information. But it's a really important skill to be able to make sell sheets. And they don't have to be like beautiful, but they do need to communicate what the game is about very concisely.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with rule writing as well. So, I mean, with the sell sheet, getting that information across, and also be able to write concise rules that people can figure out and play. Because I can't tell you how many games I put back on the shelf because the rules, while not complicated, are all over the place.
Yes.
Do you have a theory or a tip about rule writing when you're designing a game?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually made a video on my channel about the top 10 mistakes people make in rule writing, because I have myself reviewed a lot of rules. People will send them into me and I'll review them for them. But also with Cardboard Edison, the design contest, I'm a judge there as well. And so I've reviewed quite a few rules. Number one, they're probably too long. Like, I can guarantee you that your rules are too long. So just cut as much as you can. Try not to repeat yourself. Explain things as concisely as possible. Yeah, that's probably the major one. The other thing is referencing things before explaining what that thing is. So it's like, step into the realm of light, blah, blah, blah. What's the realm of light? I don't know what you're talking about. So like explain concepts before talking about like how to interact with those concepts.
Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of times people get really cutesy with the rules and want to kind of lay some sort of narrative, but the problem is in that narrative they muddy up the waters for the rule set. So I completely agree with that. Out of all the games that you have played, is there a favorite mechanic that you just are drawn to?
I love engine building in games. I love when you're building up, like when the game builds up and at the end you're doing a lot more cool things than when you started the game. It's very satisfying. I also just in general love worker placement games where you're jockeying for positioning, trying to figure out where do I want to for sure go before it gets blocked and I can't go there anymore. And just having a whole board of different actions that you can do, and it's just having like so much choice is really fun, but you can only make the one choice of where you want to put your worker, and the race and the tension of going before it gets blocked is exciting.
Yeah, I love games like Everdell is one of my favorites to play when it comes to that. A great kind of card tableau building, engine building. There are a lot of really good games that function with those mechanics, and I agree with you. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I just played Viticulture again for the other night, and every time I play it, I'm reminded of how much I enjoy that game, the worker placement, and also a bit of engine building as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of Stonemaier games. We have a whole bunch of them. So Viticulture I have, and we have not unboxed it yet. I have like 30 games sitting in a stack that we still have to review and play. But we got a little sidetracked with summer and stuff, birthdays, graduation,
Right.
good stuff. So you mentioned you have been a judge in game design competitions. What are some of the things you find are part of what you consider a winning game?
Yeah. So for me, what I look for is polish. So a game that has obviously been play tested thoroughly. It's kind of easy to tell, games that need more work and ones that have really been through the ringer and have made lots of changes that make the game even better and shine. So a game that has been obviously thoroughly play tested, nice and polished. If it has something I haven't really seen before, that doesn't need to be a completely new mechanic or anything like that. But if it's a twist on something, or if it's combining things in an interesting way, but that originality can really make things stand out. You're like, oh, I haven't seen that before. That's really interesting. And then also thinking about how much the target market for this game would be enthusiastic about it. Trying to remove my bias of the types of games that I enjoy and trying to think about who is this game for and how much do I think they would be excited to play it.
Yeah, those are all very important pieces. The market is rather saturated right now. You and I both know it.
Oh, yeah.
I get advertisements for games constantly.
Yes.
And so trying to find if it's a niche product, then know your niche and really hone in on it,
Yes.
I found a lot of watered down copies of other games. I mean, there are only so many mechanics you can have in a game, right? So, obviously, sometimes that those pieces are going to be repeated, but to have just kind of a watered down, flavorless game is no fun, and I have a lot of those on my shelf, unfortunately. So, with all your experience that you've had doing design and doing the judging, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
So I made it primarily for, myself 15 years ago, the types of videos that I would have wanted to watch, the information I would have appreciated knowing 10 years ago. So I wanted to share the things that I've learned with other designers, especially designers who are just starting out, but also sharing my journey. Like I have the ambition of being a full-time board game designer, which I actually have been for over 2 years now, which is pretty amazing. And that's not an ambition that everyone shares, but those that do, or even if you're curious to watch my journey to see how I'm doing that, how much longer I can go, will I have to get a day job again, just sharing kind of the ups and downs of being an indie game designer was part of why I started it.
Yeah, I think you were, one of the videos I was just watching or something I was reading through was about self-publishing. So doing everything sans publisher, which I've seen a lot of folks do. Those are, that's inherently difficult because that's all your money wrapped up into everything. What has been your experience trying to self-publish?
Yeah, when I first got serious about wanting to get into game design and getting a game published, I originally thought I would self-publish. And so I read Jamie Stegmaier's book, Crowdfunding Guide, strategy guide. And I recommend, even though it's 10 years old now, I recommend anyone who wants to self-publish to read this book. And what you take away from it could be different. For me, I was like, that's too much work. It's too much work. It's too risky financially. Too many things could go wrong. If you get the weight wrong, if you get your calculations wrong, if you get these wrongs, you could lose a lot of money. I also don't want to take on a third or fourth full-time job. So running a Kickstarter campaign or a crowdfunding campaign, it's a lot of work. So I am very impressed by anyone who's able to do that as well as have a day job, as well as design games. It's a whole full-time job. With that said, there are other ways to self-publish that aren't as financially risky, and that includes publishing through the Game Crafter. And so it's basically like a print-on-demand system where they handle the sales, they handle the packing, they handle the shipping, they handle the returns. You can focus on designing a game, putting it up on the Game Crafter, promoting it. So there's the marketing is a whole nother full-time job. But then they deal with that, and you're not spending money on manufacturing a huge shipment, having it come over here and then sitting in your garage. So instead, there are different models that you could try to go about self-publishing. There's also self-publishing print and play games, which, to make a lot of money, it's not very realistic, but you can get your game out there with way less financial risk, way less time commitment. So I am definitely personally exploring the idea of self-publishing more and more. Now that I have a few games published with publishers, I do want to explore that a bit more, but in a financially responsible way and also respectful of my time, how much I want to be spending on self-publishing my own games.
Yeah, I think a lot of entrepreneurs forget to pay themselves.
Yeah.
And so you've got to realize that your time equates to a dollar value. And those are all part of the equation when it comes to developing something and doing something on your own.
Definitely.
What's interesting is you mentioned Blob Party as being your favorite game that you've developed so far. You actually have an expansion coming out for that, or it's out right now.
Yeah, it's out. It just came out. It's called Blob Party Neon Nights. That's this one here. And so it's just a more stuff expansion. So it just adds more categories, more words. So you spoke about replayability earlier. And so in Blob Party, you are turning over a category card and then a word card. And so the combinations, especially now at the expansion, are very, very high of the different kinds of combinations that you can have every game. So I'm very excited for that one to come out. And it comes out, well, it's out now. I'm very excited that it's out now, and it has glow-in-the-dark Play-Doh. So when you blob with someone, you squish your little Play-Doh blobs together, and there's googly eyes and everything. So it's really fun.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone is interested in Blob Party as a special for this video, comment down below and tell me what your favorite game or game mechanic is, and I will get you a copy of the games shipped directly to you so you and all your friends can blob together. How's that sound?
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Absolutely. I have to buy it for myself because now we're always looking for party games. So that sounds like I like the synergy of once you synergize with someone else, now you're a team.
Right.
Because you're thinking similarly in this respect. So I love all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Well, Pam, if people need to contact you, where can they go?
Yeah, so my channel is called Pam Walls Game Design, and I'm that on Instagram and Facebook, and my website is all just Pam Walls Game Design.
.ca.
Yeah, .ca or .com. I got both.
Oh, does .com work? I went to the .ca one, so I was like, yeah. As always, I really appreciate when people come and spend time with me. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I wish you the best of luck. Are you going to be at Gen Con this year?
No, not this year, but I am going to Dice Tower East for the first time next week.
Where's that held?
That's Orlando.
Where's that held?
Next Thursday, so in a week from today.
Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch
okay. Maybe next year.
Again. But again, I really do appreciate you coming and spending some time with me. And for those of you who are interested in game design and kind of what all that entails, and you want to follow Pam and her adventures, I will have links to all that down below so that way you can find her in every way, shape, and form. And thank you again for coming on and spending some time with me.
Thanks so much for having me. Super fun.